CFC Church, the Hidalgo County GOP, and you, Sergio, for putting this event together, this forum together. After learning that neither of the candidates who announced for these Hidalgo County, for the HD41 race had ever voted in Republican primaries and no affiliation with the GOP, after talking with other Republicans, talking to my wife, and praying to God, I decided to run for HD41. I've been very involved with the Hidalgo County GOP since 2016. I've been on many committees. One of the committees I'm most proud of is the Leo Support Committee, which I founded and helped found to honor law enforcement. It's been a wonderful experience. I've been a precinct chair. My precinct turned from blue to red while I was the precinct chair. I've also helped found the Texas PAC, a PAC to help Republicans get elected locally to office, and for South Texas Republicans who have Hidalgo County in their district get elected. One of the candidates who I'm very proud of that we helped, Adam Hinojosa. Senator Hinojosa is a grassroots Republican who, sorry, I see the 30 seconds, who's a businessman, and he passed lots of legislation. I too am a grassroots Republican, and I have a degree in economics, and I've been involved in the oil and gas business. And so I, with that knowledge, will be very good at passing legislation, good Republican legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Sarah Sagredo-Hammond, 2 minutes. Say hi to the audience, tell them about yourself and why you're running.
Thank you. My name is Sarah, and I'm very grateful to be here today. Thank you for coming and taking your time with us. I'm the owner of Atlas Electrical Air Conditioning, Refrigeration, and Plumbing Services. I've been working in the skilled trades for years. My father started it as an Air Force veteran, and we have had the company for 43 years. Through that, I have served on national boards, Women in HVAC, getting women into the trades, and on STAC, Skilled Trades Association Council. Because I serve in those, I also serve locally in South Texas VOTEC and STC in the advisory boards. It is very important for me to build the skilled trades, and that is part of my commitment to education. Education is key. Secondly, I've also served on the Better Business Bureau board, and I serve on two state boards. One is Leadership Women, where we go to different cities all across Texas to learn about the problems, the education, and how to improve our lives, ourselves down here, and through different states, 3 different states every year since 2020. I serve on the Better Business Bureau, teaching ethics to small business. I serve as the chair for South Texas. I serve in Houston Greater Business Bureau as well, representing the Rio Grande Valley. I serve on the RGB Partnership Board. Through that, I've been going through CALA, Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. I've been doing that since 2018, fighting Republican bills at the Capitol. Talking about property taxes, valuation, trying to get our insurance costs down, trying to take care of our medical, our senior citizens. I have been doing this at the Capitol since 2018. I also served as the RGB Hispanic Chair, Intentionally Bridget, HMM Foundation, which is a foundation that is going to help educate over 150 women a month. That is our goal. Every month, 150 women to get them out of poverty from our area. Women in HVAC, I am steady. I have been in my community. I am here to serve. I am here for you. I am not here for sound bites.
Sergio J. Sanchez, say hi to everybody. 2 minutes. Why are you running?
Thank you. It strikes me, Sarah, that you don't mention that you're pro-life, and I'm going to have to mention things that are uncomfortable. And
oh my God, go with the rules.
No interruptions, please. Proceed.
yeah, so I'm proud to be Catholic. I'm proud to be pro-life. I'm going to be the only candidate up here that can speak to this, and an entire career that I can speak to this issue. Fighting for the unborn child, I'm going to make that a big part of my platform. I regret to inform you, Sarah, that abortion has been banned in the state of Texas. I've shared many videos and many discussions of you speaking of in disdain and disgust that men have taken away a woman's right to choose. It's true, they have. They have. And it strikes me that any Republican with any sort of self-respect could support that. I said I'm going to fight to the gates of hell for the unborn child. That means pointing out obvious hypocrisy that is right in front of us. And so I'm going to do that. Anybody that supports her is a hypocrite, unless you believe differently. And there's a party for this. There is a name for this, and it's called Democrat. And so I want to point that out. It's not wrong to have these opinions. It's just different than our party platform. This is the biggest plank in the platform. I want to speak to our current state representative. Does anybody know his name? Bobby Guerra. What does he do? What has he done for the community? I've called for him to resign, and that's what jumped me into this race. I entered the race, he resigned the very next day. That's the order of things. I present a certain intensity, and I'm going to call things out. If it bothers you that I'm going to speak to uncomfortable situations, the elephant in the room, that she wants to limit your guns to 2 guns unless you're a hunter. Guess what? I don't have a wrench, but I have more than 2 guns. Who's going to come take my guns from me? What is the flag of Texas from back in the days of Goliad? Come and take it. This is the backbone of our state. It strikes me of all of those wonderful boards and all of those certificates, but not pro-life.
Okay. We now get to answer questions. Gary was the first to speak, and Sarah gets the first to answer. We'll try to squeeze in 3 questions, even if we have to go over the 20-minute block.
Sir,
Question? Yes, ma'am.
there's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I know. I have no control over that. I'm sorry. Whoever has the board, maybe bring down the volume a little bit. That would help. That way we don't feed into the speakers. If anybody's controlling the board. There you are. I see a way. Anyway, so bring it down a little bit. Maybe that would help. Question 1, Sarah Sagredo-Hammond, you get to answer in this turn. Your position on property taxes, reducing or eliminating, what changes would you make? 2 minutes.
We definitely need to reduce our property taxes. We have our senior citizens that are having appraisals that have tripled on their homes, and they are being pushed out of homes. We need to take care of our community. So Governor Abbott gave $5 million to Hidalgo County in 2025 to reduce our property taxes. And the appraisal district, what they did was they reduced the rate that they charged us, and then they increased the value of your property. So now you're still paying, if not the same, you're paying more. That is not okay. Abbott is running on reducing property tax, trying to get it down to not being increased for 3 to 5 years, and doing it at a rate that is like a 3% increase so that we can make sure that we stay with our property values. These values of these homes that we live in, these are our families. We have to take care of our families. We need to reduce property tax as much as possible.
Question for Sergio Sanchez, 2 minutes on property taxes, reducing, eliminating. How would you go about doing something like that?
Yeah, not with platitudes. You have to have a plan. So the governor's proposal of limiting the increase of an appraised value, which is in essence a tax increase for the whole community, to limit that, it's up to, the law says it's up to 10% at this point. He wants to limit it to 3%. I want to tie this in to 1.7%, and that is the limit. This gets to a Social Security cost of living increase. I want to connect it to that. So it's either that number or 1.5, whichever is lower. That is my proposal. I have a plan. It's just a much larger issue, an umbrella issue known as taxpayer protectionism. Just to rethink the way we do government in Austin. From the bottom up rather than from the top down the way it's been. And we have so many city commissions. I expect fully to deal with a gentleman named Sebi Haddad in November. I have every intention of bringing up all of the I would call it disingenuous tax increases, and that he calls them tax decreases. But with the appraised value, there's a wink-wink situation of the appraisal district. The whole system goes up. It's a tax that gets passed along to us. For those of us on fixed income, my mother included, my father included, every senior included, it's a regressive tax. It's a regressive tax on you because you don't get an increase at that same level of what you're bringing in. So I have every intention Ken Paxton, just recently our Attorney General, has filed subpoenas on 1,000 cities in the state, McAllen's one of them, to focus clearly on the way we handle our taxes. Super majorities, 2/3 of the vote. Super majorities must approve any tax increase. 100% in line with the governor's plan on that issue.
Gary Groves, your position on property taxes, eliminating or reducing them, 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, hi. So I want to limit the increase on property taxes to 2.5% or the rate of inflation, whichever is less. The governor has a great plan, and that's to use $11 billion of our surplus to get rid of the school taxes. I support that. Also, I think we should elect all appraisers. If we don't like what they're doing, let's get rid of them. And I also support what Mr. Patel's PAC is saying, is that if our properties are overvalued, they should be decreased in value. And also, we can't just limit the amount of increases without tackling the spending. Spending is out of control. We could do more with state supervision and less control by superintendents. That would cut down costs. We need to focus on basic learning, not spending on frills. So it has to be a two-pronged approach to limit the appraisals, and eventually I'm for getting rid of them altogether. I think getting rid of the school taxes off of our property is a great start, but let's get rid of them. I mean, we do have a big surplus, and we can find ways to get taxes off of people's homes. We shouldn't be taxed on your homes. It's wrong. So let's get rid of it, and we can do it.
Each candidate gets 1 more minute on the issue, starting with Sarah Sagredo-Hammond. You want 1 minute on this issue, Sarah?
Governor Abbott is working really hard to work with the appraisal districts because the state does not have control over the appraisal districts at this time. So the first thing that we need to do is get some more control over the appraisal districts. Appoint the board people that are going to serve, make sure that they get elected into those offices, and take care, first of all and foremost, of our senior citizens and our veterans, because those are the ones that are suffering the most. They're the ones that live on a fixed income, and their property valuations continue to increase. So yes, we do need to do something about this. This is huge for the governor, and this is going to be for anybody who comes into this office. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Sergio Sanchez, 1 more minute on property taxes. Would you like it?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
So again, platitudes don't get the job done. I have a plan to pass along referendums, to expand referendums, essentially for the taxpayer to be the auditor of the city commissions, for the taxpayer to be the auditor of the school board, for the taxpayer to be the auditor of the water commission. The taxpayer should be in control. We obviously have referendums that get passed, these large bond referendums on huge city projects in the areas of tens of millions or hundreds of millions. We get that. I want to lower that threshold to a much lower level that passes along on a vote basis, that the community gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down on a much lower number in the area of 5 million. It restricts cities, it restricts these, the compadrismo system, that these huge contracts go out without bidding or automatic rebids. We need to pass along referendums, put the vote back to you. Who has a problem with that? You be in control.
Gary Groves, final minute on this issue. Would you like to take it? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so again, I'm for eliminating property taxes. I want to make that very clear. The governor has talked about taking off the school taxes off of our tax roll here. So yes, you can do that, and then you can eliminate property taxes. They should not be taxing our homes. And what can you do about it if they do that? You're kind of a captive of their tax system. So no, let's eliminate property taxes. The governor's plan is a great start, using the $11 billion surplus to do that. That will be wonderful. And again, elect all appraisals. If we don't like them, let's get rid of them.
Thank you, Gary. Question 2. First one to answer will be Sergio Sanchez. On the issue of the state's gun laws, do we need more? Do we need less? And why? 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite of others on this stage. I'm not going to limit the amount of guns you have. And I'm not going to speak to, you don't need an AR-15 to shoot a deer, or you don't need large clip capacity to go hunting. That is not the purpose of the Second Amendment. Who understands what it is? This is based in the Constitution, right after the First Amendment rights that we have. The Second Amendment is our right to stand up against a government that is participating in tyranny, that is stepping upon our God-given rights. That is the true function of the Second Amendment. I say this without apology. I'm not going to limit your guns. No one's going to take away my guns. Texas has no limit on guns. Texas has no limit on the amount of guns you can purchase. The United States doesn't either. The Constitution doesn't either. The Supreme Court precedent doesn't either. But there are others on this stage, the videos that I've shared, are asking for 2 guns for you, that's enough, unless you're a hunter. And that AR-15s should be outlawed, or that they are weapons of war. It's a semi-automatic weapon. Even the discussion itself speaks to the level of not understanding even the basic function of a gun. So I do want to speak to this. I'm going to be a champion of the NRA. I'm going to be a champion of our rights. I'm not going to get lost in the discussion that there is too much for hunting, or that it is too much for home defense. All of that is well and good, as well as sport. All of that is well and good. The function of the Second Amendment is to stop a government from tyranny, and it gives the authority to the people. That's never going to change when I'm at the State House.
The question now goes back like a typewriter over to Gary Groves on the issue of the state's gun laws. Do we need more? Do we need less? And why? Go ahead, sir.
So I love our Texas gun laws. I open carry myself. I have a license to carry. I feel like Sergio does on this topic. Yes, I'm a strong supporter of our gun rights. And I don't have any problems with the gun laws in Texas. I love them. I'm so grateful to be a Texan where we have these great gun laws. So yeah, I mean, I'm all for the Second Amendment. God bless America. God bless our rights to have guns. You know, it keeps us from turning into a country where we can't defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And we've seen it in countries like Venezuela, where they just shoot the protesters. You know, and that's part of it. It goes in our First Amendment where we can protest peacefully. And you know, one thing I would like to say about this is what's happening in Minnesota. I don't agree with what's going on there, where people are attacking our law enforcement and putting their lives in danger, and also putting the law enforcement's lives in danger. And so there's time when you know where I would say that, you know, our gun laws are great, but we can protest peacefully as well.
Thank you, Gary. Sarah Sagredo-Hammond, on the state gun laws, do we need more? Do we need less? And why? 2 minutes, sir.
First thing I want to say is I'm not here to perform, I'm here to serve. And when you listen to the whole podcast, you will hear us say in the beginning, we are all gun owners and we are all pro-gun. As a matter of fact, I am not going to champion NRA, I already do. My father gifted me an NRA certificate and I am part of them. I own a gun, I have a Smith & Wesson. In the same clip that's not being shared with you, we state that in Mexico, the cartel are the only ones that have guns, and that we need to have guns here to protect ourselves so we don't have what's happening in Mexico. In that same clip, I state that guns are super important, and if you're a single woman, we recommend that you go out and get a gun. What we also need to do for our Second Amendment is those people that are doing the certificates and getting people trained and we should be putting incentives behind people getting a gun to be safe, and we should be putting incentives, tax-free incentives, to those that are doing trainings. Not just talk about, oh, I love the Second Amendment. What are we gonna do to make it stronger and to make it better? In that clip, we were talking about mental health, and a massive school shooting. We gave opinions, and we even stated, this is just an opinion. But we were very clear on our love for guns, that all 4 of us had guns, and that I was a very proud gun owner. Do not take in sound bites. Do not listen to clips. And this is not a courtroom theatric. This is a forum to get to know your people. Get to know me.
Each candidate has a minute, one final minute on the issue. Sergio Sanchez, 1 minute on the issue. Go ahead, sir.
Well, let me give my opinion. And my opinion is clear. The only thing worse in these statements is this attempt to try to walk it back and to try to pretend like these statements weren't made. In my opinion, they're unforgivable. It's presented an unelectable situation. It goes completely against the ethos of the Republican Party. I'll just give an example. My son has more than 2 guns. He's not a hunter. Who is going to take away those extra guns? Who is going to do it? Is it going to be DPS? Is it going to be the Texas Rangers, the Marshals, the FBI, these agencies that I work with? Who in your mind is going to do that? How can you retract these statements? Make these efforts, I see it. How can you possibly retract this? AR-15s, it's a semi-automatic weapon. It's no different than a Mini-14 that goes back 100 years. It's a very basic, you pull the trigger once and 1 cartridge is ejected. That's all an AR-15 is. It happens to look menacing. And so many in the community think that it's a bad gun or it's a weapon of war. It's not. Or they make they conflate the issue.
There's a 1 minute rebuttal. Gary Groves, 1 more minute on the issue. You taking or you're passing? Go
So
ahead, sir.
again, I find myself agreeing with Sergio. I mean, Sarah's on tape advocating for gun control. And, you know, the only thing worse than doing something like that, if you're a Republican, is then denying that you said it. It's on tape. Sergio put it out there. So, you know, that it is what it is, Sarah. I mean, if you feel that way, just own up to it. Don't try and deny it. Not everybody feels like Sergio and I do about
Preach, Gary.
having weapons and owning guns.
Keep
We
going,
believe in
Gary.
2A, but that's our opinion.
Sarah, you have 1 more minute for rebuttal. Go ahead, Sarah.
Again, I'm going to say that fear makes for loud campaigns. Lasting leadership comes to serve. Listen to the whole thing for yourself. Don't take sound bites. Understand and be educated, because the Republican Party is an extremely educated party. I stood in front of some builders, construction owners, just this past week with Monica de la Cruz, and they talked to me, they're Republican, and they said that they're thinking of not voting Republican this year because of the state that they feel they're in. And I told them, this seat, 41, has never been a Republican seat in over 30-some years. 30-some years. Who would run as a Republican in a seat that hasn't been won in over 3 decades? If you're not a Republican, but believing in faith, family, and freedom. This seat needs to flip. Who is gonna get you in there? Thank you.
Time. Thank you, sir. Gary, you'll get the final question in this rotation. The state abortion laws, should they be relaxed or should they be strengthened, and how? 2 minutes, Gary.
So I'd like to say I'm adopted. And when you're an adopted child or an adopted person, you feel quite strongly about abortion laws. I'm for the abortion laws we have. You know, it was a tumultuous discussion getting them passed here in Texas. I don't think it should be reopened. I believe our abortion laws are adequate. And again, I'm pro-life, very strongly pro-life. I'm anti-abortion. And our laws in Texas, I'm so happy we have them. I'm so happy they got passed. God bless our legislator for doing that. And you know, I just think of, you know, pro-life is being about being for the unborn kids, not murdering them. So I don't see how anybody can be against being pro-life. Thank you.
Amen.
Sarah, Sagredo-Hammond, Sarah, the state's abortion laws, should they be relaxed or should they be strengthened? 2 minutes, go ahead.
It was President Trump that said that in cases of rape and incest, and in cases in a woman's medical health, that's when abortion should be allowed. He said it. I said that. And I said that in those cases, a woman has a right to make the decision, not a man. That's what I said in that clip. Listen to the whole video. Don't listen to clips to flip your mind. Understand that I am a mother, and I have 3 beautiful daughters, and you have children and daughters, and you would want their health to be taken care of first. My sister-in-law cannot have children. She's got a special rare disease of diabetes that if she was to get pregnant, she would die. The medical doctors tell her, do not get pregnant. They do everything they can to make sure she doesn't get pregnant. But the day she does, it's her right to make that decision. And just like Trump said it, I said it. In those cases, as a mom, I listen and I speak first with empathy. May I ask you all to do the same.
Thank you, Sarah. Sergio Sanchez, the state's abortion laws, should they be relaxed or should they be strengthened? 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Sarah, I regret to inform you, that's not the law of Texas. And,
Hey.
No interruptions, please. Go ahead.
yeah, or to all women, or to anybody that is considering that you have a choice, you don't. You don't have a choice in Texas. I regret to inform all of you, that is our law. And I have every intention of making it even stronger. And I say this without apology. And so when I say I'm gonna fight to the gates of hell for the unborn child, is it your intention in the issue of rape or incest that you plan on changing that law? Because that is contrary to existing law. The only exception is if the life of a mother is at risk. I have every intention of creating a 5-doctor board to review what is the potential of a very loose and fast, out-of-control doctor that is issuing diagnoses to say that a mother's life is at risk. Say diabetes, say hypertension, say anything, say anemia, that they could get away with green lighting an abortion. I would create no different than when I used to prosecute capital murder cases, people that I sent to death row. That guy that I would describe as pure evil had multiple levels of scrutiny, multiple levels of review in the area of 10 years. If that life is going to receive that level of scrutiny, a baby in the womb that I would describe as purely innocent deserves the same. Obviously, on an emergency basis, our doctors are capable of doing this. I have every intention of strengthening the law, not to expand it to include other areas of potential of rape. Nobody has a choice. This is going to be left in the hands of our medical professionals, emergency room surgeons that are capable of doing this. I say this without apology. Your words will speak. Thank God for YouTube. They will always be there. Thank you.
Each candidate has 1 final minute to comment on this issue. Gary, would you like to comment or pass?
On that?
On this issue, yeah, that's like a rebuttal.
Okay.
1 minute.
So yes, again, I find myself agreeing with Sergio. The only thing is that, I think opening it up, that can endanger the whole law. So I'm for keeping it as it is. But again, it's about protecting the life of the unborn. That's what's important here. The unborn doesn't know what happened, how they got there. So you want to protect that life. And that's as caring human beings, that's what we need to do. And we don't know what God has planned for that unborn child. God
Amen.
works in wonderful ways. And a child that's born for reasons we don't know or conceived could turn out to be a world leader or somebody that gives so much to this community. So don't kill that child. Please, don't do that.
Sarah Sagredo-Hammond, you have 1 minute, 1 more minute if you'd like to comment on this issue, sir.
I believe that we need to be here to get a good understanding of our candidates and to listen, to not just shut down because you hear a soundbite, but to truly understand and get to know that candidate. The Bible says that God is love. We are in a house of love. We are supposed to lead with love. This seat has never been a Republican seat in over 30 plus years. Who are we putting forward? In order for us to flip the seat, we're gonna have to lead with love, lead with listening, lead with understanding, with faith, with family, and with freedom. Those are the Republican values. Those are the values that I'm gonna take. Those are the things that I'm gonna fight at a state level for my community, like I've been doing for years. I haven't just been talking a talk. I don't just wanna take a seat. I'm not here to take a seat. I'm here to serve.
Thank you. Sergio Sanchez, one more minute on this issue, and then we move to the lightning round. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, so thank you. So I do want to speak to freedom as well. And there are competing issues here. The freedom of the mother in this issue of choice, and the freedom of the unborn child. And who wins? Who wins that freedom? Texas has made it very clear that it's the child. And I thank God it's the child. And that one of the main reasons I entered this race is to make these arguments. They speak to our faith. They speak to the ethos of District 41. They speak to who we are as a community. No one is going to fight for that child any more than me, I promise. And it's even pointing out hypocrisy, even to discuss uncomfortable subjects here in a mixed crowd. I'm happy to do so. I will lead with strength. I will fight for an unborn child with strength. I prosecuted death penalty cases. I've sent people to death row. If that guy is going to get this many levels of scrutiny, the baby should get the exact same, clearly on an emergency basis. It's the state sanctions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
2 deaths.
We will have 5 minutes. I get 2 questions in it at this point, 5 or 6 minutes of a lightning round. And then we will proceed to questions from the audience. I believe there was a setup where there was a QR code, and we'll try to avoid repeating the question. So that's coming up right after this speed round. So let me start back with Gary. You encounter somebody in the elevator, Gary, and you had 1 minute, which you do right now. What would you tell them to convince them to stop voting Democrat? Go ahead, Gary.
So I would tell them that all our rights come from God, that it's not about big government, but about having individual rights and believing in God, and that conservative values are values for people, it's not about big government, but about individual values, the pursuit of happiness. And so I would just say that more government is better. Less government is better, more rights for people. And I would say, look at the Democrat platform as it is now. It's pretty much communist. And look at the Republican platform, which is pro-people, pro-human rights. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, Gary. Sarah, you're in an elevator. You literally have 1 minute for a speech to convince somebody to stop voting Democrat. What do you say?
The first thing I wouldn't tell them is you're not Republican enough. So when you're talking to other people that believe in different ways, you want to bring them back down to the virtues of what a Republican is: faith, family, and freedom. And when you talk to them, most people out there, especially in our Hispanic community, believe in faith, family, and freedom first. When we start talking like that, and we start leading in God's love, and we listen with empathy, then you can start having real human conversations with people and bring them to the Republican Party to vote the same way, with the same religious ideals, with the same vision of God in life, and the same protection for freedom. I believe what Gary said in us getting rid of some of this government tape. We need to fix it. We need to bring down all these extra costs. And who doesn't want a savings? Even the Democrats want savings. So we want to make sure that we're talking, and we're talking to people to flip them.
Thank you, Sarah. Sergio Sanchez, you're in the elevator. You got 1 minute to convince somebody to stop voting Democrat. Why should they stop voting Democrat? What do you say to them?
Thank you. So, rugged individualism. This goes back to the foundation of our party. And Ronald Reagan would speak to this. Ronald Reagan would speak to get out of the way of small business and let us be the economic engine that we are. We are the backbone of the nation. We're the backbone of the state. We're the backbone of McAllen, and we're the backbone of FAR, and we're the backbone of Edinburgh, and we're the backbone of Mission. That's District 41. Get out of our way and let us be successful and let us create jobs. I have 4 employees. They each have mortgages. They did it when they started with me. They got degrees. I'm proud that we can create a successful business. And if no taxes are lowered, that's going to go to 5 employees, and that's going to go to 6, and that's going to go to 7 mortgages, and they're going to create new families, and that is what helps. That's how communities get built. Get out of the way of our spirit. That's the Republican platform. Thank you.
And the final lightning round question, Gary, back to you. Tax breaks for industry. Some say they are necessary incentives to lower businesses. Some say it's corporate welfare. What say you in 1 minute?
I would just like to say the last question. Take a look at California, take a look at Texas. What do you prefer? So I don't believe in giving tax breaks for corporations. An area should fight on its merits. And when you do that, you put the tax burden on somebody else. So I believe that a business should locate in an area because the area has merit for it to locate in. And so, no, I would not give tax breaks to companies to locate.
Thank you, Gary. Tax breaks for industry. Sarah, some say it's a necessary incentive to create jobs. Others say it's corporate welfare. What do you say, Sarah?
I think that if we're going to be giving tax breaks, we need to also be using whatever their income that they're bringing in to build our community. We need jobs. We need to be able to have the data centers that are coming down. They're doing an 18 billion water direction down here in Los Fresnos. We need to be able to understand the people that are coming in and then what we're going to be able to do with the sales tax money that they're going to be putting out to our cities. So sometimes you will need to give a corporation a tax break, but because it's going to build the bigger picture for us. What are they going to do? Where are we going to put the money that the sales tax is going to be coming in from? We need to put money behind our public schools. My husband works at a public school. My daughters go to public school. I'm all for parents taking care of their own kids and putting them where they want to. But we do need to fund our public schools. And so these are different ways that we can do that. We want to be smart and be educated and use common sense. We have to listen to what we're bringing in to our great state, because we are the greatest state here in Texas.
Thank you, sir. Sergio Sanchez, tax breaks for industry, necessary incentives, or unnecessary corporate welfare? What do you say, sir?
Thank you, sir. So it's a continuation of what I just said. Get out of the way of small business. I want to speak to the franchise tax. The franchise tax is the tax that the state imposes on LLCs, on corporations, on partnerships, on small business in the state, merely for the permission of doing business in the great state of Texas. Okay, that's the franchise tax. So the question is, how should you wage that tax? The way it is waged now is on the net proceeds. Say a business brings in $1 million gross. That's the number that is taxed, $1 million on the franchise tax. I propose, similar to the governor, that it is based on the net. Take away the expenses of the business. For me, that's Google. For me, that's wages. For me, that is the rent. For me, that is the light bill. A big chunk of what I bring in goes to expense. The franchise tax should only hit the net profit of the business. And the question is, what am I going to do with it? And what are others going to do with it? They're going to expand their business. I would open up in Houston. I would open up a law office in Brownsville. That's more employees, more houses. That's my proposal.
All right. We have the final statement now. Each candidate will get 2 minutes, since you were first on the segment. So we start with Sarah, Sergio, and so you can use your final 2 minutes to say what you'd like to say. We have 2 more minutes for each candidate. My apologies to them. I know the cologne's really strong, brother. I'm so sorry.
That's not the closing statement.
Right. So
It's not the closing statement.
it is time for the closing statement. Anything, you can use your closing statement for whatever you want to say. You're going to
This is not the closing
This is the
statement.
closing statement. Now, before we go to the questions from the audience, from our chairman, who will bring those in just a minute. Sarah Sagredo-Hammond, 2 minutes, your closing statement. Go ahead.
So it was mentioned earlier that I had never voted Republican. I had never voted before. I've served as the treasurer for Republican Party, Mr. Ruben Villarreal. I was his treasurer when he ran, when being a Republican wasn't cool in 2016. I stood beside him, I walked beside him, and I held signs for him. I serve as a treasurer for another Republican Party. I block walked, I've donated money. I was one of the first people to give money to Monica de la Cruz when she decided to run. I fought bills at the Capitol for over 9 years, and they've all been Republican bills. You cannot say I'm not Republican enough. You cannot be pushing people out of the party. We need to welcome people to the party. And I want to be welcomed by my Republican friends from the GOP. I want to walk in and I want to feel safe and I want to feel loved. Because when I look at you, I lead with what God has given to me. And that is nothing but love and grace. I teach my children, when you are around bullies, you lead with love and grace. And that's what I want to bring to this table. This seat, again, has never been Republican in over 3 decades. Who is going to flip it for you? Who is going to be able to get to the end and get those values of faith, family, and freedom? You want to know where I stand and who I am? I have a contract that I have written up that is on my website of all the bills that I'm looking into and that I will be standing next to. And it is signed by me. You can go to my website and you can download a copy. I signed it. That's what I'm going to do when I get to Texas. I'm going to represent you. I am not here for sound bites or for performance. I serve my community. I love my people. I will lead my people with the empathy and the faith that God has given to us.
Sergio Sanchez, final 2 minutes, your closing thoughts. Go ahead, sir.
I'm not sure who says my people. I've never heard that term. This strikes me as a form of majesty. That's strange. The people control. You all are in control. To flip this seat, to go Republican, I can promise you, the first Republican of District 41 will be pro-life. I can promise you the first Republican for District 41 will be for the Second Amendment and not going to be imposing gun limits. I can promise you that the person that is going to seat in 41 that's a Republican will not be to the left of Beto O'Rourke or Sebi Haddad on the issue of guns or the issue of life. Again, I make no apologies for bringing up apparently uncomfortable discussions. There has been no retraction. There has been no taking back of these previous statements. I must do my job. I've given an oath, and it is my faith to fight for a child, and that also means pointing out hypocrisy. And that also means I'm going to point out everybody that has endorsed her. How could you possibly endorse, if you call yourself a Republican, anybody with these beliefs? I'm going to keep saying it until March the 3rd. Thank you.
Your final 2 minutes, brother.
So as to the franchise tax, I'm for eliminating it. It's a failed tax. Getting rid of it would increase the tax coffers of the state by $1 billion, and it also would create 47,000 new jobs. So I say eliminate the franchise tax. I'd like to thank everybody who put this forum together again. And the audience, I would like to thank you for participating. Since President Trump got elected in 2024 in a landslide, Democrats have been coming over to the Republican side to try and find a easy way to get elected. They're doing it for personal interest. Don't be fooled by them. Voting records matter. So does party affiliation. I'm the only candidate for HD41 who has voted in Republican primaries. Let me repeat that. I'm the only candidate in HD41 who's voted in Republican primaries. I also have a strong affiliation with the Republican Party, something the other candidates do not have. I'm a proud MAGA Republican. I believe in our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. I'm for government for the people, by the people. I'm for eliminating property taxes. I'm for doging Texas. We haven't talked about that tonight. Doging Texas is going to be super important. So I'm for strengthening the committee to doge Texas. I'm also pro-God, pro-guns, and pro-life. So I would humbly ask for your vote as the only true Republican candidate running for HD41. To find out more about me, go to GaryForTexas.com and also, GaryForTexas41.com and make a donation if you would choose. And I'm here to serve you with the strong Republican values that only I, the candidate, can say that I have. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, if you can indulge me for just 30 seconds, which my radio producer knows is like 2 minutes. You know, it's 30-second commercial, you shut up already. I want to
Do
acknowledge.
we have to pay for it?
No, that's just free. I wish to acknowledge our chairman, former chairman, and our current mayor for the city of McAllen, Javier Villalobos. He was the chairman of the Republican Party. Chairman Villalobos was the chairman of the Republican Party during the Tea Party movement. It was a revolution. His victory was amazing. I was blessed to have wonderful volunteers when I volunteered as chairman between 2014 and 2018. Thank you to all of you. Many of you all are still here, part of that team. Opened up that permanent HQ to train, to recruit, to fundraise 2014 to 2018. Our champion, Adrian Peña Garza, is in Washington, D.C. She served 3 terms, and our party is solid, strong, growing, healthy because of her leadership. Thank you to our chairman, Robert Cantu, for all of your work, all the volunteers, all the precinct chairs. It's been an amazing ride. Let's keep growing. Let's unite after the primary for victory in 40 and in 41. And the final 10 seconds, I want to see a show of hands. Who listens to 710 KURV talk radio? Wait. All right. That's pretty good. I'm getting a few more hands here and now. All of these candidates are welcome on the talk radio show. Listen to 710 AM KURV. It's the only media in South Texas that is for us, conservatives, liberty-minded, Republicans, people who love our nation, America first. So listen to 710 AM. You'll hear these candidates again on the radio. Our chairman, Robert Cantu, with some of the questions from the audience. Lord bless you.
All right, thank you, Sergio. Let's give Sergio a big round of applause for him. Great job, thank you. All right, you've only got about like 5 or 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna ask some of these questions, and what I'm gonna do is you have about 1 minute. I'm gonna start on that side. I'm gonna start with Memo, and then we'll just go down. It'll be the same question because it's to all the candidates. Please provide your position on the past and possible future proposals of the hospital district.
Of a what, I'm sorry?
The hospital district.
Oh, hospital district.
Yes.
I think any hospital as well. I mean, I think any hospital, if we build any hospital.
Well, I think what they're talking about is the hospital, the tax on the hospital district that they tried to pass a few years ago.
Yeah,
Say you're against it, Memo.
I'm against it.
Go ahead, Angela, if you have a position on it.
The position on taxes, I'm kind of like Vangelis on this one. I think some of those things should be put up on the ballot. Why are we gonna bicker? You know, put it on the ballot. If they go for it, then it's fine. If not, then no.
I mean, that's what I agree with him. Taxing, it's because I'm not clear what the question is. to be able to answer.
It had to do with the hospital, the proposals that passed, that tried to be passed a few years ago. The taxes on the hospital district.
They want to tax hospitals.
Right.
But they tax us.
Right.
No. We should not be taxed more. We're already taxed out of our ears. We don't need more taxes. Hospitals are probably getting overpaid with the funds that they get from insurance companies, and so I don't agree with them receiving taxes from us.
Okay. Gary, do you have any thoughts on it?
Same question?
Same question.
Okay, yeah, it's been voted down twice. It's a terrible bill. So yeah, I think there should be a bill to stop, bills that have been voted down twice from continuing to keep being put up. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's a waste of time.
Sarah, anything else you want to say about that?
I agree with Gary on this. It's a waste of time. I think that if we're going to be putting bills out there and they've already been turned down, we need to look at reforming them and figuring out what they can do to make our great state better. So this is so important to them, then maybe we can work with them to figure out how we can give incentives back to our community, back to our people, and put those taxes back to work for us.
Sergio?
Thank you, Robert. The hospital district, the people that voted it down, I would expect are Republicans, and they're conservative, and they follow what I think is my very basic philosophy of common sense conservatism. I think that speaks very well to the community, and that this is a very winnable seat. I make the connection. Who wants to create more taxing entities when we're trying to eliminate or lower what we already have existing? So obviously it's a no, and when I hear this, it gives the impression that there will be a board, that they'll be appointed or elected, that the oligarchs that control things in this area, I think of Alonso Cantu, I think of the owners of Doctors Hospital, that this is to their benefit, like they need any additional funds, like they need anything more than this. And so this speaks, we could just portray this forward and extrapolate. This speaks to, I intend to face Sebi Haddad in November. This is akin to his failed leadership. This hospital district is a perfect example of that. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start here with Sergio on this one. If you are the winning candidate on the Republican Party, why would you have the best chance of beating your Democratic opponent?
Yeah, so he's the poster child for everything that I speak to people about. Taxes need to come down. He is the poster child of this. And even worse, he claims that he's lowered taxes, Sebi Haddad. I fully expect him. He's running against a couple of knuckleheads. I think he's going to win this race very easily. So it's okay to be blunt about this. So I would just say to him clearly, he's disingenuous when he claims that he's lowered taxes, but knowing that the entire base has gone up. It's a net gain. It's a net gain. And really, he is the poster child of the governor's 5-point plan. He's the poster child of Ken Paxton issuing subpoenas to every city in the state. McAllen was at the top of the list. I'm not ashamed to say that I have every intention of winning, and he is really a metaphor or the epitome of the tax increase, and I'm going to be the exact opposite. Thank you.
Let's go to Sarah. Why would you be, the same question, why would you be the best candidate on the Republican side to beat the Democratic opponent?
First of all, I want to say that I am pro-life, and what I said is the same thing our president has said. Would you tell him he's not Republican enough? So why would I beat Sebi Haddad? Mr. Haddad is our city commissioner. Lots of people know him. If you look at his Facebook, he's gotten tons of endorsements from many of the commissioners from every city that is in our district. In order to beat Mr. Haddad, you have to talk community. You have to talk to the hearts of our people. You have to go out there and block walk and discuss things that are meaningful, changes that we're gonna bring. Fighting in Austin for 9 years was for Republican bills so that we could reduce our taxes, so we could get rid of these big property issues that we're having on insurances, so that we could help our veterans get better breaks. My father has to go to a doctor's appointment and he gets one 4 months and then he has to wait another 6 months to get treated. That is not okay. Those are the issues that District 41 needs.
Gary?
It's going to take a strong MAGA Republican to beat Sebi. I'm the only strong Republican who's running in this race for HD 41. So President Trump won the district 51%. I was very involved with the Trump trains. I'm very pro-MAGA, and that's what it's going to take to beat Sebi, to get the same numbers that President Trump got. Sebi's vulnerable. The city has problems. And so you highlight those problems, and you also be a strong MAGA candidate, and you should win this district.
Angela?
Look, Terry Canales, he's the one that I'll be going up against. He is certainly out of touch with families when it comes to demanding better schools. He does not agree with school choice, and our parents, they deserve to have that ability to choose for their own students. They should decide where their children go, not politics. And that's exactly where he's leading the community. And we have to remember, he was reprimanded in 2004 because which raises a question about his integrity. And then not only that, he is a little soft on crime. So that's based on some of the research that I have done. And so therefore, I think that with my educational experience, not only as a teacher in the classroom, but as an assistant principal, I can lead this district better than Canales.
And Memo, same question.
Yes, I was doing a little research myself. I don't know if people know my background, but my father also ran for state representative of Mexico. He was a politician for very many years. So a lot of people are used to voting for the Gomez name. You know, a lot of people in Mexico. Of course, my kids go to school here. I'm a proud Republican. What I was doing in my research is, you know, I was seeing the need to change leadership totally in our district. You know, the state representative was one of the people that had a commission to impeach Ken Paxton. Terry Canales was acting as a prosecutor. So he was prosecuting, trying to throw in Ken Paxton, trying to throw him in prison. He wanted to put him in jail. So it's something that's not. I just don't think we need to go down that route as far as leadership. I think Ken Paxton's a great man. He's done a great job as Attorney General. And yeah, I think I do a way better job at taking our conservative values.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and start with Gary on this one. Will you support sanctuary cities in Texas for illegal immigrants, and how will you support ICE?
I absolutely would not support sanctuary cities in Texas. Can I be any clearer than that? And I'm a supporter of ICE. They're enforcing the law. You know, that's not easy what they do. They need our support. And we need to tell these people who are attacking them, don't do it. You're endangering your life and you're endangering their life. And that's something our politicians need to do. We have to stand for our law enforcement and make sure that people understand you don't resist arrest and you don't attack our law enforcement. I support ICE 100%.
Sarah, same question.
We back the law. We are supposed to be for our law enforcement. So we are for ICE. We're also for humanity. And so we are supposed to protest because we all protest. But we're supposed to protest peacefully because that is our right. That is our voice. So no, I don't support sanctuary cities. Texas is a great city, a great state. We are a great city here in McAllen. We are a great community. We are a different kind of community. We are not like the rest of the nation. We are a great Hispanic, family-loving community, and we will continue to do so in the right way, protesting properly.
Sergio?
Thank you. Yeah, so for sure, against sanctuary cities, as it is, when the Supreme Court says that we must provide a free public education to anybody, including children of illegal immigrants or children that are here illegally. And it's not free. The whole point of this is it gets passed along to who? There's no such thing as a free education. So I would want to clamp down, do the opposite. Because the term sanctuary city and incentive go hand in hand. You incentivize the migration. There's free things here. Obviously, that you're going to come to this area where there's free things. So sanctuary cities obviously know. I'm a former prosecutor. I worked with ICE. I worked with Homeland Security. To this day, I still work with federal agents on a very regular basis. I'm happy to announce that I received the endorsement of the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department. I'm the only one in this field that law enforcement has endorsed. Thank you.
And Angela, same question.
Look, you cannot be for sanctuary cities and advocate for closed borders. They don't go hand in hand. But thankfully, Texas has shut down any kind of protesting or anything in favor of sanctuary cities. But you know what? As the wife of a Texas state trooper who is currently working Operation Lone Star right now on our borders, I support not only ICE, but DPS and our Border Patrol, those who are keeping our borders safe, who are keeping Texas safe every day. I don't believe Texas will ever become a sanctuary city, because if it's on my watch and I'm in the house, I won't let it happen.
Yeah, sanctuary cities. I'm totally against it, 100%. I think we should start prosecuting some of these mayors. I really think we should start prosecuting them, because they blatantly go against the order of our government. If the government is saying that we don't allow these sanctuary cities, there's no way that you're going to be protecting them and not expect any reprimand from the government. So I really do feel like some of these people should be held accountable. Some of these mayors and some of these local politicians should be held accountable, and we will do away with all that.
Thank you. All right, we're going to do one more question. Despite tort reform, and I'm going to start here with Sergio. Despite tort reform, healthcare costs have gone up. What would you do, if anything, to help with the rising healthcare costs?
Corruption. I spoke to this just recently of the Somali disaster going on in Minnesota in the area of $9 billion. I used to prosecute people that committed fraud against the government for healthcare benefits. I sent people to prison for this. I know the issue very well. Mayor Villalobos is in the state courts as well. He understands that these cases are brought at the state court. Whether it's a state jail felony, a third-degree felony, it's based on the dollar amount. I'm very happy to continue to push for clamping down on corruption. The savings would be passed along to us. I would bring a prosecutor's mentality to this. Clearly, it's in my background. 27 years of doing this is what I do. So it's the broader issue of tightening the belt. Overspending is out of control, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stop that. I have the background to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, same question.
People don't do what you mandate, they do what you investigate. We need to start looking at what the states are spending on in healthcare, and we need to start looking into some of these state agencies. In order for us to do that, we have to be educated on balance sheets and budgets and know how to run a company. You have to understand where to cut costs. You have to understand what you're looking at and who the people are that are in those seats. If somebody does something wrong in my office and we lose money, they get fired. I got a lien placed on me by the SBA. It was an incorrect lien. I had to go in, deal with the SBA to get it off. And you know what they said to me? Oh, well, we did it wrong. Now you have to go and file over here to this other agency. We don't do that. Like, that is ridiculous. If somebody had done something like that in my office and given money out for free, I would have fired them. We have to start looking at our state agencies, taking care of our healthcare, taking care of our veterans, invest more in telemed. There's so many communities out there that need medical support. We need to get them more medical support.
Thank you. Gary, same question.
Well, one of the reasons for the high healthcare costs are all the illegals that are in our hospitals. And we should actually tariff the countries. We should go after the federal government to get money back for the health care that's provided to these illegals. It's just totally wrong, so we need to claw back that money. We need more education, we need more doctors. You know, the insurance companies have gotten things so complicated that companies don't know, doctors don't know, and hospitals don't know how to charge. And it makes everything super expensive. So I would get a board of doctors and the healthcare companies, sit down with them and simplify the insurance codes, get the costs down, because they're just out of control. People don't even know what to charge. I'm for more training of doctors. We need more education. We do need state hospitals that would fit into the training of doctors.
Thank you, Gary. Amanda, same question.
Well, I'll tell you what I won't do, and that is expand Medicaid and Medicare. What we need is to demand a transparency from our hospitals. Itemized bills. What are we being charged for? And we know that the cost of a Tylenol pill can be a couple $100s. So they're making money off of us. And therefore our insurance rates go up and our health cost goes up. And so we need to hold hospitals accountable and make sure that, you know, when we go, we're able to see exactly what we're being charged for, and make it fair and transparent.
Thank you. And members, same question.
You know, Gary, you stole my train of thought. I think we should really do that. Go to these countries like Honduras and El Salvador and, you know, hey, this is your medical bill. This is what it's costing our taxpayers. So we should go to those countries and be like, look, this is your medical bill. Because we're not going to put up with you know, all these people that are wanting free healthcare and stuff. It's not free.
Thank you. All right, well, this concludes the candidate forum. I want to start off by thanking again Pastor Corzine and CFC Church for hosting this here. Let's give them a round of applause. I want to thank the candidates for coming. It takes a lot to run for office, and for those of us that have been around the Republican Party for a long time, you know that we haven't had contested primaries in a long time. So it's good to see 2 different seats where we have these contested primaries, and it's good to come here and sit and listen to them express what they believe in and why they're the best candidates. So let's give a hand to them for running. And I want to thank the volunteers that helped put this together. There's a lot of people, but I do especially want to thank Dion and Alma for all the work that they put in.